Pretty good.
Hold on here.
No, well, like I was just saying, I'm recovering from a bit of a head cold / sinus infection, so always fun.
That always sounds good.
Yeah.
You always enjoy head colds.
Yeah. Like I said, always fun.
Let's see. Get some of these pictures cleaned off here. Did any of you get a chance to take a look at the upcoming changes we're going to have?
No.
It's not expected, but it
That
might
was
be
the
interesting.
Fantasy Grounds Unity update thing, right?
Yes. So they did an hour and a half. Like, I know two of you run games, but if you decide you want to do it, you can. But it's supposed to be pretty nice. It's got a bunch of features, but I had some people ask me about it, so I just kind of shared the information that I thought that would be most prevalent. I'm definitely going to be getting it when I can. The public release date is December of this year. So, that having been said, let's dive on. There's going to be, I think we're probably not going to have a game next week. So,
Okay.
as it warms up, you guys can go on about your business. I think you had something too, didn't you, Ben?
I do, but that's on Sundays, not on Saturdays.
Well, just give you guys a heads up. We probably won't have a game next week.
Fair enough.
And I think that's the only thing I have for you guys. Unless one of you guys has something for me, we can jump right in.
I was just gonna say, it's probably for the best not having a game next week, because Tanner and I got our finals before we graduate all of
Nice.
the week after, yeah.
Very nice.
Graduating,
Yeah.
going out
Finally.
into the awfulness of real life.
Nah, it's not that bad, Tony.
At least they
I
pay
love
us.
life.
You get to go to those fun adult-only meetings on Tuesdays.
Oh, we'd have those on
Oh.
Mondays.
I've been so
Ouch.
looking forward to those.
I feel like that's a Canada thing. I don't understand.
Really?
What's an adult-only meeting?
You know, it's once you join the real world, you pay your taxes, all that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just meet at the strip joint on Tuesdays.
We don't call it that. We call it where the nice ladies dance. That's what we call it.
Guys only.
Sorry, Tasha.
Well, yeah.
You can go to the one where the guys dance or the girls dance. Whatever floats your boat.
I've been to both.
That's why I married you.
There you go.
But it is worth mentioning. Obviously, spring, summer, fall, people have family events. So there's going to be the occasional game that's not scheduled. I'll try to let you know as soon as possible. But obviously, events here, there, life, etc., etc. Wintertime, we're all stuck inside, hating the world and nature. But we will still have games. It's just like next week finals. But jumping straight in after that, you guys recall. There we go. Should be coming up shortly.
We're all about to die.
Well, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. You guys had agreed to be pseudo-sacrifices as a ploy for an attack. There seemed to be some sectarian violence between the worshippers of the Sea Mother, Blivdolblop, led by their high priest, Plopplopine, and the worshippers of the new deity, the father, the sea father, known as Limagagoon, led by the daughter of Plot Popleen. So that is the glory that there is here in Sloobludop, the Kawatoan town of about 500. You guys were left to go about your own devices under the agreement that you would sleep inside of the High Priest's area, which depends on the view you have of the map. You either will or won't see it, but it's got a circle around it. The Rolen and Shushar moved around the town. You were able to learn a little bit here and there. The only thing I recall you guys learned of interest was that there was an additional non-Kawatoan in the town being held prisoner, and it was a deep dwarf, a Dwergar. We had a little bit of a discussion, and I did some research just to make sure I wasn't going off of old information that I didn't remember right. Between the Darrow and the Dwergar. The Dwergar are deep dwarfs. They're dwarves. The Darrow are human and dwarf hybrids, but they were bred thousands of years ago by the Illithids and driven insane. So they are a race on their own. They've evolved since their original half dwarf, half human. So that's why they are different. That's why they appear different. That's why they're treated as lesser in dwarven society, because they're half dwarven and they're basically what in essence became cattle for the Illithid. So other than that, you guys did a little shopping, and that was where we left off. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints?
Nope.
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 No.
Sounds good.
I mean, like, I have questions. I've got several questions, just none pertaining to the topic at hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair enough. So, or did anyone want to do anything, or what was it that you guys had a desire to do prior to going back, or did you intend to go back?
Yeah, that was the question on everyone's mind was, do we actually go through with the plan, or do we make like a tree and get out of here?
I think we should make like a tree and stick around.
I mean, you know,
Well,
that
we were worried
interpretation's not
about.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, we're called prisoners right now, right? So we
Yeah.
were worried that if we just tried to leave right now, we'd almost certainly get hunted down.
I don't think we need more people after us.
Yeah.
So we do the whole sacrifice thing. What was it? It was me and Roland. We're gonna like sneak around and not be part of the sacrifice squad. Is that correct?
I think I'm gonna be stealthing around as like either a tiger or a crag cat.
I think that should be our new group name, the Sacrifice Squad.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right.
Okay. So you guys are done in town. You don't want to do anything else. You want to head back and take a long rest. Is that my?
Yeah.
Yep.
Still doing like a guard duty, right? Like shifts, just in case.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same guard plan. Let me pull it up, make sure it's updated since you're in town. Looks like watch order has Ophelia, Rolen, Kosjurkis, Agile Smoke, and Indomitable Spirit. and of course, you have Bupido, Fargus, Jimjar, Shushar, and Stool. Just you guys want to pair off, I believe, what you guys were doing. You had one player character, one NPC, right?
Yep. I think so.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't remember, to be honest. That seems to be what I remember. Is that how do you guys want to do that? Since we're in town, let's go ahead and reevaluate the watch. How do you want to do your watch? Do you guys want to rearrange the order?
I think the order sounds fine, right?
I'm good with it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
no
makes
problems
sense.
with it.
Okay. So, you guys, let's get some. We can't have no actual enjoyable music here. The water lapping enjoyable. There we go. Now, as you guys are making your way back, you obviously see the same sectarian violence or on tension on the verge of violence around. In addition to that, you do notice the same unusual behavior that you noticed initially, just to bring it back to your forethought in the mind of when the Kawatoans are speaking. If there's some type of leader, they seem to take a higher position, even if they have to stay their fellow. Then when the Kawatoans are speaking, they seem to circle each other as if they have to continue moving to prevent sinking. And it's overall just an alien type of experience. You can tell they evolved underwater, even when and though they are amphibious, able to live out of the water, their culture developed underwater. And they have numerous things going on around. So it is just an alien environment. Once you guys move for the rest, the evening passes. Who is, let's see. So the only thing that you do notice is Indomitable Spirit. You had the last watch. Before we jump on that, I'm going to need some medicine checks to see if he takes any damage.
Oh,
All right. Ophelia can help me with that, right?
Yes, 2 people can help. You can give it advantage.
Cool.
Let me scroll up here and get the DCs. I actually lost them for a second.
I think it was 15, wasn't it?
They were scaled. They were
Ooh.
scaling DCs.
That curse of the mummy touch. Pretty bad stuff.
It is.
Yes,
So
mummy touch.
Oh, can I give myself guidance for that too? Heck yeah.
oh yeah.
Doing that anyways.
Let the spirits guide you.
So what is your overall total?
19.
19. I believe that actually eliminates all the damage. So that's if I recall correctly. Which I have to just search it right here. I have it. I just haven't. There we go. So yes, you managed to avoid all of the damage, luckily enough for this time. So you don't have to use spell slots. So I'm going to apply a long rest for everybody. I don't know. Actually, we need to. Just go ahead and I'll adjust some hit points here. If you want to change your spells, yeah, it might be there might be some abilities I'm not thinking of. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply a long rest. If you want to change your, go ahead and change them now if you're able. I think it's Rolen and Kosjurkis are the spell changers.
Think I'm good.
Yep.
All right. So with the spells changed, let me move these right here. Move these down. You guys rest the day away. You don't have any noticeable disruptions at first. When you wake up, all of you come awake, you notice that Indomitable Spirit is unconscious and at the doorway. Indomitable Spirit, at your last recollection, you and Bupido were standing at the doorways. one at each. You're in a room with two doorways. One of you at each of the respective doorways, and something hit you in the back of the head from behind, knocked you unconscious. You find Indomitable Spirit laying in a doorway, leaned forward, and you guys find Bupido laying in a doorway forward, as if both of them had been hit in the back of the head. And that is the second worst thing in the room. The
Oh,
worst thing in the room that you find is that as you guys start to come awake, you find that Bupido, I'm sorry, Shushar is dead.
Oh, brilliant.
Crap.
Oh,
And
no.
he has been gutted. And when I say gutted, he has been cut from just under his chin all the way down his stomach. His entrails,
Who just left? Oh,
Sorry, that's my bad.
his entrails and guts have been pulled out, and they have been arranged, not violently, meticulously pulled out and arranged in. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep.
Yeah.
His Discord showed red for a second, just making sure. So his
You did-
entrails have been pulled out.
You did kind of break up for like maybe half a second on my end, but only for like half a second.
Unless you're breaking up like right now, because he kind of stopped suddenly.
Yeah.
I am not breaking up right now, but
Okay.
on the other hand, Shushar is. His guts have been pulled out. His entrails have been arranged in concentric circles, and they seem to, as for example, his intestines have been cut in half, and there are two circles going clockwise next to him with strange runes painted in his blood, and then on top of the painted runes, his organs have been cut, liver sliced into little pieces, and then the pieces used to be laid on top of the painted bloody runes. It was a whole lot of cutting, but you assume he was killed instantly or in some form or fashion, because whatever it is that killed him did it right in the same room as you guys and didn't wake you up, with your passive perceptions being reasonably high for some of you. I mean, with the exception of Indomitable Spirit, who was bonked on the back of the head, and Bupido, who was bonked on the back of the head. You don't get a passive perception when you're knocked unconscious. So that's what you wake up to.
Well, I'm more than a little upset to find a person I can become to consider a relatively good friend is laying dead and carved up at my feet.
What the heck happened, Spirit?
I said, hell if I know. I was just standing here and conversing with Master Shushar. Next thing I know, I'm out like a light. And I'm getting woken up by you guys. I don't even remember anything.
Well, you're both knocked out facing forward, so they got you from behind. So which one did he get first? And it must have been an inside job.
Dun, dun, dun.
Rolen just starts lighting up a pipe.
Hold on, I have a sound effect for that. So you guys are apparently faced with a little bit of a mystery. You don't have a massive amount of time. They said they'd be coming for you around the start of the day. Now, obviously, there's no sun outside, but they seem to operate on current time. Dad jokes notwithstanding. So you guys have maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but
So my insight check there was like scanning the room. Does anybody? Because like I would assume we're all on edge, nervous, like what the fuck just happened type of mentality. Is there anybody who's acting calm, or maybe even acting that they seem like they're nervous about what has happened?
As far as you can tell, the group seems to be operating normally. I mean, they're all shocked. They're all distraught. There's a definite, concern that he was killed. But yeah, I mean, there's nobody that's just like, oh, that sucks. Fish sticks.
One sacrifice down, one to go.
Do I know anything about these runes?
Give me an investigation check, please.
Okay.
I'll give you an investigation check.
You can give me one too. As many
There you
people
go.
as you want.
I rolled 2 19s in a row.
Last two of the night.
Oh.
Oh no.
I hope not.
Tony turned off the good rolls for player option, and now we're gonna start losing.
Damn it.
The runes seem completely abnormal and alien. They don't match any language you've ever seen. They don't match anything you've ever heard of. You just can't really, they don't make any sense. I mean, they resemble very, very slightly dwarven runes, but they're not even dwarven runes, and that's not even saying a whole lot because there's a lot of languages based off of dwarven runes. Giant, ogre,
I think
there's just
Draconic.
tons
I
of.
think.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of languages that used dwarven runes as their root and then evolved away from it. But it doesn't seem like they're not dwarven runes. Maybe they have some basis in them long ago.
Kosjurkis rubs his chin. Maybe Shushar no. Oh. Oh.
Too soon?
With that investigation, would I notice any footprints leading in or out, or is it just kind of like our own?
It's
mixed in
just
together?
the ones. It's pretty much just your guys's.
Oh, good.
Not that it seems to probably matter then, but it's one higher than my passive. Like closing my eyes and listening, can I pinpoint like each of the like everybody who's breathing in the room and just see if I can notice that there's like somebody else in here with us, potentially invisible?
You can attempt to anyhow, but you do not notice anyone invisible or ethereal would be different as a
right.
But no, you don't notice anything. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Kawatoans have a natural ability to see creatures that are ethereal and invisible. Had they been, Shushar probably would have seen them.
Hey, Smoke. Should I try casting Fairy Fire? That locates invisible people if they don't succeed.
Well, if you want, but I don't know. I mean, I really have no idea. I mean, you want to spend the spell, you spend the spell, you know?
It's fair enough. Yeah, screw it. Cast Fairy Fire.
So you cast Fairy Fire. You do not detect anything invisible. There's seemingly nothing invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
It's a nice try. Better safe than sorry.
I am not going to use the. I don't intend to use the synthesizer for the Kawatoans tonight for numerous reasons. One, I'm not a huge fan of the one that I had, and number two, the one that I had is not able to be used right now. I think their website was having an issue when I tried to get it, but I have all the others. But it will be used tonight. Don't worry about that. The door that Bupita was laying by is the door by which numerous Kawatoans come through, led by Plopopine. He is the high priest of the Sea Mother, and we'll just stick with that. And there are a number of additional creatures that come through. There are numerous, you can't even see them all, Kalatoans, as well as 2 of the spellcasters and another one who seems to be standing behind him. And they are looking at all of you. And he asks if you are ready. He looks, as he says it, he kind of, his eyes drift over Shushar, but it doesn't seem to you like he has a fuck to spare. He just seems to not care about Shushar. Shushar doesn't seem, he's below useless.
Is he surprised though to see Shushar dead, or is he?
He seems indifferent. It seems like the look you would have if you saw maybe like a dead spider, and not even like an actual animal that we domesticate. It's lesser. It's on the level of seeing an insect dead. It's not that you're surprised or unsurprised or interested or disinterested. It's like a chair. Oh, there's a chair. You guys ready?
I'll ask him if he knows what those runes are, or if they look familiar to him. Real
He
quick.
takes a look. He takes a look at the runes and kind of observes them for a second and says he does not. He does not know.
I'm going to do an insight check on that. Crap.
As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
Okay. All right, you guys are ready.
Good to go.
About as ready as I'll ever be.
Alrighty. If you have the map still up, I have arranged your tokens on the map, minus Shushar, of course. He tells you not to worry. You don't need to apologize about the mess. He'll have someone clean it up.
Oh, that dick.
Classy.
And he tells you that you will. He will do his best to assure you are not sacrificed. He does not intend to allow a profane ritual that would blaspheme against the great Sea Mother Blivdoblop to insult his town. He will not allow the ritual to begin if he can stop it, but he certainly will not allow the ritual to be completed. Although you seem to gather that he is more concerned about not allowing different religious practices, as he seems to be concerned about the fact that doing so would end your life, he does seem to be, those interests do seem to benefit you, although it's not for the right reasons.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
So, the other Kalatoans, just for efficiency, I don't plan on putting them all on here, but I am going to put on Kalatoa Monitor 49 and Ploplepleen right here to the top. And he points to the north along that pathway and instructs you guys to walk in that direction.
All right.
And he doesn't really seem to make any effort to take your weapons, your armor. He doesn't seem to, like, again, it's a lot like he noticed a chair when he saw Shushar's clearly some type of ritual sacrifice corpse. He doesn't seem to even recognize or acknowledge that you have all your armor and weapons, and yet you are supposed sacrifices. I mean, you are outnumbered in this town about 200 to 1, but that's separate. So as you guys move up there to the altar of the Sea Father,
Can't remember the plan.
Deep Father.
Right. I'll turn to. Actually, I'll just go. How am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to go hidden step and to turn into a crag cat as an action. And go
Okay.
over here.
Well, let's take this token off. We'll just scoot you down here. Let's scoot. We'll put Rolen at a. Go ahead and roll an initiative for me, everybody, so I can give the Crag Cat the initiative Rolen had. But since Rolen's rolling, let's just get everybody going.
Oof.
Gross.
I rolled a 17, but I don't think it went through.
No 17 for you, I guess.
Oh, there it is.
It did not. There it is. We got Fargus. And am I doing Jim Jar? I don't mind. I just don't want to steal him from you.
Sorry, I just totally forgot. I got him.
No. Now, doesn't bother me one iota. Just don't want to steal him if you want him.
By the way, can I climb up that building right here with my climbing speed?
Yes. You do bear in mind it is not the most stable of structures. And if you rolled Rolen, it didn't go through.
Oh, I didn't roll. Okay. Hold on.
Easily distracted. It happens to the best of us.
Can I make a check to see if I think I can even get up there?
You can.
Without
It's an
collapsing?
investigation check.
Oh yeah, it's like my bread and butter. Yeah.
Oh, that's bread. Yes, it'll hold your weight. It definitely won't hold Kitty Cat, who is now
That's fine.
placed.
Right. And I don't plan on dancing with anybody up there, so we should be fine. So,
does anybody plan on dancing with anybody on top of stuff?
Well, it was that one time.
It kind of just happens.
I'm gonna I'm crawling, right? I'm not standing. I'm prone up there, keeping an eye out, but bow in hand.
Okay.
I can't get the Crag Cat sheet.
Okay, I can fix that. Now you can.
Sweet.
Should be able to.
Yeah, I got it now.
So, in the altar there, or in the area there, as you guys move up, I'm going to draw a line for you guys to move up to. You can move up to that line. And in that central area, you notice the altar of the Deep Father, the idol of Limagagoon, consists of a large hide of some creature, roughly cut in the shape of a manta ray and stretched out on cords between four support poles. And I'm going to continue the description right after I send you a picture. I have gotten a little bit quicker at this. I've be able to send this right away. And as you can take a look at the picture in Discord as I give you the description. There you go. So
we're in danger.
A dead, splayed out manta ray, the same shape as the hide, obviously, is pinned to the center of the hide, the manta ray itself. Two dead octopuses, is what those purple things are on top, are draped across it. Their tentacles are pinned to the various things, the parts of the manta ray. Some of them are pinned to the poles. They're pinned specifically and artfully arrayed in some type of style. Their two heads are tied together and painted with red and blue pigments, each one a different color. The idol clearly reeks of decay, and the broad altar that is made of stone below it is stained with blood. Laying the altar itself is right here. Let me get this together here. So the altar is 10 feet. It's right here, and laying atop it is Hemeth. It's his name there. You don't know him personally. You guys aren't childhood friends, but he is a deep dwarf, so you probably assume that's the deep dwarf. And you guys are pushed gently, from at least encouraged, to move up into that little area. I'm not going to move all the tokens just for general posterity, but you notice that all of these Kawatoans are spinning in a circle clockwise around the altar of Limagagoon, and they are spinning. I see an arrow. I'm not sure why, but I do see an arrow.
I'm just making sure.
You draw whatever arrows you want. So let me scoot this up. This is the path that they are following. That is the path they are following, and they're going clockwise. So they are circling, and that path does actually take them through the water. So that is worth mentioning. I'm not going to drag all of these tokens in a circle, but that is what they are doing. Now, as you guys step forward, the Archpriest of the Sea Mother, the one leading you, and moves you, encourages you, nudges you forward, including Ophelia lagging behind there, trying to stay out of the sacrifice. He wants you to move up into this area.
Oh boy.
Help you guys move Bupido, and I'm going to assist you, Ophelia, unless you're physically refusing. By assist, I mean force. All right, so as he moves up there, let me pull this up. The Archpriest of the Sea Mother steps forward across the span of the altar towards the Kawatoa, who is waiting for him there. So you would obviously have to zoom in quite a substantial bit. I'm going to point out the leaders here. And this one seems to be the leader of the Deep Father cult. And the one directly behind Spirit seems to be the true faith leader of the Faith of the Sea Mother. Now, he steps forward and he calls out, there we go, had to type that in. He calls out, "The time has come for us to acknowledge your divine vision and welcome it. I have brought these as offerings," and he sweeps his hand out towards all of you. He gestures towards the other Kawatoans that are standing in the circle. He says, "Will you not accept them, as we all must accept Limagagoon as the new leader of the Kawatoan people and Sloobludop?" Now, when he says this, you notice that a number of the Kawatoan around in the crowd start shifting uncomfortably, and some don't. The Bloblibpod responds in a younger voice. "You are wise, Father. I accept your offering in the name of Limagagoon the Deep Father. May their blood nourish and strengthen him." As a burbling, gurgling cheer goes up from the surrounding Kawatoa, and they pump their fist into the air. The Kawatoans start to resume their parade around the altar in a huge wide circle, part of their path splashing through the water around the docks. You notice there are two kinds of boats up there. It is worth mentioning, I do want to point out, the boats are different. You notice mushroom cap boats. You might have to zoom out a little bit. The mushroom cap boats there look like they could hold 2 to 3 people. They're literally just mushroom caps. The rafts, though, look like they're made pretty sturdily, and they actually look to be, they can be extended out a little bit or lashed together. Although they're, for aesthetic purposes on the map, they're just shown as 5x5 squares. They function as keel boats. At once they're fully extended, they can hold 6 people, 5 people, maybe 7, but probably double what one of the mushroom caps. Now, from this distance, they look about the same. You can't really tell much difference. If you got close, you could probably start to do a little more deeper assessment. Now, As the Kawatoan are circling, the female archpriest calls forth for you guys to be brought forth into the area there. As you are called forth into that area, they are... That's not the one I wanted. As you guys are called forth, the Kawatoans start to circle around you. That's the one I wanted. They jump to do their bidding as she calls them, as Ploploplene abandons you, moving into close proximity next to his daughter. And you guys have a number of Kawatoans, and you look... You guys did pretty good against, I think, 4 or 5, but it seems pretty obvious that it would not be a good day for you to go against this many, not to mention the high-level casters. Now, you start to be nudged forward as the high priests move forward towards the altar with the dwarf. Kind of pushing you guys. You can move of your own volition, but they're definitely encouraging you. They have spears and they'll use them. Bupido and the rest of them start scooting forward because, I mean, what are they going to do?
So, like, what's the plan here?
So, as they prod you forward with your spears, you notice that underneath the altar is a steel grate and underneath aforementioned steel grate, you can see and, well, hear water from the dark lake splashing there. As you're brought forward, Blibdoblop, the female, we'll just call her Blop. She starts motioning towards the dwarf as the first sacrifice, holding her staff up and calling out in Undercommon in a gurgly voice for Limagagoon to accept this worthy sacrifice from this unworthy surfacer. Allow his blood to nourish you, and you may come and receive these numerous sacrifices to your glory. And as she's calling forth, she brings her staff down, and you hear a solid thunk as the Ploploplene smacks her in the back of the head with a surprise attack, initiating combat. She doesn't quite get to crush the dwarf's skull. The dwarf is saved by Ploploplene, and I have a number of options here, and I'm choosing the one that's least time-consuming for our game. The Kawatoans are going to be battling each other as half of the Kawatoans spring into action, attacking the other half of the Kawatoans. You cannot help. That's why they're all... You know the monitor. That would be the one that's up there by Jim Jar. And just so you have a full understanding, because you would, the monitor is the one that has a couple spells that you fought. He was the leader of the group that ambushed you, but nothing like a high priest would have. So you know the monitor that's friendly to you, well, that's a strong word, who's least hostile to you, as well as you could tell the high priest of Limagagoon from the high priest from the Sea Mother. The rest of the Kawatoans, you have no idea who is who. They're attacking each other with bites and claws and spears and nets and shields. There's no noticeable difference between who is who. So that's the first thing that's going on. There's just attacks every which way, cries, screams of agony as there is a clear fight going on. As the battle erupts, there we go. Gotta love that. You guys see them slugging it out, and I'm not going to go person by person. The general rule of thumb, so you guys know, because this is going to matter a lot later, but I do want to mention it, so when I bring it up in about 6 months, you guys go, oh, I remember that. with these large number of creatures, you can go blow by blow, and Fantasy Grounds does make it easy with hotkeys. I can do that, and we may do that in the future. But one of the easiest ways to do is especially Rolen can tell you, as he looks at the Crag Cat's stats next to their damage, where it says his weapon damage, it says hit and a number. For example, the bite is 1d10 plus 3, max damage of 13, minimum damage of 4. It has an average damage for every creature, the average damage being 8 from the Crag Cat. So we just operate on the fact that estimated how long would it take, the estimated average, 60% would hit, they do this much damage. And you apply that damage as the round goes. That's going to matter later for you guys, but we're not going to do it right now. I'm going to apply it, but we're not going to go blow by blow. But what I do need to do as I go through this and start applying damage randomly that you can ignore, the first person in combat is going to be Sloobludop. So she is surprised, so she doesn't get to go, which means Indomitable Spirit, you're the first one that gets to react. So you need to decide, or the party, in a matter of a few words, needs to decide what you're doing.
So I just wanted to ask, Fargus is a medium creature, yes?
Small.
Small, okay. So Fargus, Kosjurkis, and Stool are all considered small creatures, yes?
That is correct.
I think Jar might be too.
I believe he is too.
Okay.
Bupito is medium.
Okay. How many small creatures can I pick up and lift and like carry off? Can I like
One.
just like one? Okay.
If you're medium, you can pick one up. A Crag Cat's large, he can pick up 2.
Okay.
One size smaller, you get one of.
Because I'm thinking if these guys are just going to kill themselves, that maybe we should take advantage of the situation and get the hell out of Dodge. And maybe I'm just thinking, I'm just going to like grab one of my party members, hoist them up, and just bolt that away.
Sounds good. So they don't seem overly concerned about you. They are all just whacking away at each other. So though they have the ability to take attacks of opportunity, they don't. And they haven't quite moved yet, but they will be attacking each other in swift form.
Well,
Did you grab? I missed which one.
That's the thing. Who wants to come with me? Because I mean, I can probably grab like any one of the 3. I mean, I could have reached Gem Jar, but Bupito was in front of me, so.
Well, but you can't pick up and carry Bupito.
No.
He's medium, just like you are. You can drag him, but he's a fully conscious half or Darrow, so he's not going to be carried.
Bupito is probably going to be.
Nobody tosses a dwarf.
Yeah. No. Bupito kind of strikes me as the type of person who wants to get in the fray anyway. So.
Kosjurkis over your shoulder and just hustle away.
No. No. I'd be more likely to just carry Kosjurkis with me because he's
throwing firebolts over your shoulder.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Let me at him.
Yeah, either Stool or Kosjurkis is probably like the one I'd probably carry. Maybe Stool because he's like the most most vulnerable out of everyone. Most likely to.
He's
what
the
am I
least
trying to
likely
think?
to set you on fire.
Yeah, pretty much.
He also has 7 hit points.
Yeah,
grab Stool.
Let us say, and
the 7 hit points need not be overlooked.
And Agile would not be happy if his little mushroom friend gets killed. So I'm like, I just like scoop up Stool and be like, all right, little one, let's get out of here. And I just kind of scream over my shoulder to the others, run!
All right.
So yeah, that does it for me.
There. You notice that the dwarf is struggling against his bonds, but he is tied up and he looks over to and calls out in Dwarvish before switching to Undercommon, using his action to beg to be released.
I used my action to beg for mercy.
He uses his action to beg to be freed.
Too bad I wasn't the closest one, otherwise I'd probably reach out for him first, but...
And now, the Kawatoans set upon each other quite effectively for the ones that can move. So the ones that can move are doing roughly an average of 5. I'm sorry. Yeah. Where is it? Okay, so they're doing an average of 5 damage to each other. One side is not being able to react, so they're surprised. They weren't expecting an attack. So, what do you want Fargus to do? You guys fleeing? What do you guys...
RP style. Would Fargus try and help the Duragar?
Well, Fargus probably wouldn't. I mean, honestly, he abandoned people he traveled to the Underdark with, and he didn't abandon them. They were ripped to shreds, so he couldn't save them. But he wouldn't, if for somebody he doesn't know, especially with his allies running away.
Right. So it sounds like he's running too, then, right? Maybe taking a shot on his way or something.
If that's the overall plan, is for the party to get the hell out of Dodge. Yeah, he's by Felicia in this shit.
You think he's smart enough to take a shot at that the monitor that we know is not on our side?
He can. He would. He doesn't like. It's more these guys work for you, especially now that you guys are growing in strength. If you say take a shot, he'll take a shot. If you are running, he's gonna run. So he's gonna get the hell out of Dodge if he can.
Yeah.
Unless you guys give other instructions.
Maybe hold. How about this? He runs and then holds an action to take a shot if anybody comes at our running party members. Unless that was a full move
but
for
he's
him.
gonna have to back up.
Oh no, then that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Rooftop sniper.
Rooftop sniper. The attacking the blah 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 blah
Blibbity blobbity.
blah 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 pod. Attacking that one anyways. The
Blop lid pod.
Yeah, that's what I I was stealth to 18, so I had advantage on this attack.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Isn't Blop like unconscious?
No, she's just been hit.
Okay.
They're slugging it out. Well, they shall be momentarily.
All right, taking that shot, and then after taking that shot, I will jump down to like here.
Okay.
And then, hopefully I can get like behind whatever this is here. Like I don't know if that's a bench or whatever that is.
It's a rack for fish.
So kind of like scooching behind that rack, or like out of like trying to get line of sight dealt with, and the cunning
Scooch
action
approved.
stealth. Nah. All right.
And good old Plop Plopine, probably saving your lives, hits his daughter in the back of the head. And when he does, you notice that apparently the Sea Mother is not completely made up, because that scepter he is carrying with her image on it crackles with electricity, sending a shock worth a substantial amount into his daughter with a whole lot of fuck you on it.
Ouch.
Apparently family ties aren't as strong in this species. All right, Queen Ophelia. Somebody has submitted an application for the Friends Club.
Accepted. So I see Spirit running and screaming at the top of her lungs to run away, and I follow.
Rest in peace.
I can try and get the dwarf.
Yeah, I'll head back on my next turn and see if I can't do anything.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. I need that for a sound effect. Alright, I'm gonna, as you guys, I think you can still cast a spell, Ophelia, if you so desire, but, or you can move, it's up to you or stay as a group. I'm going down and adding damage to these creatures as appropriate. Let's jump down to Bupido. He has the least love there is possible to even have for a Dwergar, and he gives him a satisfied look as he abandons him. Not so much like I can't help, more like, fuck you. I hope it hurts when they kill you.
Would Jim Jar share the same sentiment?
Not the same. Yeah, he wouldn't necessarily want him to die. He wouldn't risk your lives for him. So Jim Jar, absolutely, being who he is not going to abandon him to death without good cause. But he would free him if he could. He would have to probably. I will pull that off. Thank you. He would have to spend his whole round freeing him, like move an action to cut all of it, because he's gonna have to crawl up there with him and cut all 4 ties.
Yeah, but I was thinking, yeah, Jimmy would probably. I mean, as long as he doesn't hate Duragars as well, that sounds like
he's not a fan, but he doesn't hate him. It does. He's risked his life to protect people he was barely familiar with as is.
Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna he'll pop up there and give it a go. Try and with his dagger, maybe try and cut the restraints free from this guy.
They're more kelp, seaweed, so they can easily be sliced without any substantial. It's more time.
And that's movement and action.
It is. It's going to take everything he's got.
All right. Oh, he has a cunning action. Can he then run after that?
He can.
All right. So after that, his cunning action, he'll start getting out.
Little Jimmy getting the hell out of Dodge. We'll hop down to Stool, who... What do you guys want him to do? He wants to stay with the group for sure.
I just point over at like the nearest boat and I just say, just make for the water.
Okay.
Say we need to get out of here pronto.
So he's gonna do a full double movement and end up here.
Oh, he might have misread the instructions. Shit.
I don't mean actually go toward the water. I meant go toward the boat.
Hang on a sec. My mouse, something's messing with my mouse. So I'll take my turn in just 1 second.
No problem.
Say.
All right, there we go.
This seems like a good boat as any for us to commandeer.
We might need. Go ahead.
I don't think we could fit everybody on one boat, but
yeah, true, yeah.
Picks up a rock and fucking hurls it at the Kawatoan monitor that is not friendly to us. Second level.
Fuck you in particular.
Damn it! As it skitters off into the ocean. Makes me sad. It's a good spell.
it's a lake, not
It's
an
an
ocean.
ocean to him. It's the most water he's ever seen.
That's fair.
All right. And then he runs away.
He's gonna run in through the 90s.
When you guys get a chance, if you haven't, actually, I don't think it's included in those videos, those Unity sample videos. one of the things they're adding in Unity is you can draw out your motion with your arrows now, diagonal and
Cool.
so forth. I was a fan of it.
Can I grab the dwarf from there? I guess I
You
took a
can.
double
You
movement
can.
though.
The no, you
But
can't.
no, yes, no.
You
I
can
can't.
want to.
I can want
Not
to
with a
real
double move.
bad. Yeah, no fair.
I need to.
Yeah, I'll just save it then.
I need to pick up more spells that take advantage of attack rolls. Goddamn.
A lot of saves.
All my spells pretty much that do damage are saves.
All right. We'll hop back up to the top as I've already applied damage. And that Kawatoan turns and attacks back. They are delivering blows at each other. And her staff, with a different deity atop, seems to also be providing her with power as the dark lightning rides up that staff and hits her father as they trade blows back and forth. And I'm just going to slide on down here and apply damage as needed.
So that raft that I just highlighted, I'll go ahead and I'll do it again here. This one. How many people can how many people can we fit on that?
6 comfortably. You could squeeze in there, but it would be a little tight. You can fit probably half that in a different one, but obviously it's not a speedboat. It's a paddle. Obviously, there's no wind, so you're going to have to paddle your way.
That is a bit of a problem. Because there's only so many other boats that's available, and there's far more than.
You're in charge. You're leading this charge. You're gonna have to make a decision.
I'll be the one to stay behind because I can go ahead and I can direct Fargus, Stool, and Kosjurkis onto the boat here.
You can all get on there. You can all get on there and ride temporarily. Okay. I'm saying long term, you're not going to be able to. Like, you can squeeze in, hanging off the sides and stuff, but 6 is what I mean by like actual crew. Yeah. Like, you can. Go ahead. You could just tie Kosjurkis and Stool together and throw them off the side.
Yeah. There's also like a mushroom cap boat like on the other side of the bay too, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna commit some piracy, I think.
We can at least seize this one temporarily to maybe like get around the docks and like seize another one that's bigger.
Just yell out like 1 gold coin to like whoever wants to guide us.
Yeah, they're pretty busy.
Didn't we know that that Duergar was some kind of trader or merchant on the Dark Lake?
Yes, I found that out and I forgot.
Right, but no, you didn't forget. You just like Rolen knew the whole time. We know that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where you're going to get him, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we need that guy.
That was my whole plan.
Exactly. I knew you were thinking.
It's not to save his life or anything.
Well, that too. You know, like we're not complete monsters.
Well, I actually am a monstrous humanoid.
Oh.
We needed his skill. Saving his life was just a bonus.
So you're going to go ahead and run there, just making sure before I
Yeah, just because I really can't do anything. I would have gone back to go save Hemeth, but Roland's already in the middle of doing that, so no sense in...
So you can... The keel boat, this big boat, takes 2 people to crew. There's oars already in it. And it takes an action to untie.
I'll go ahead and I'll start untying that then.
You use 30 movement. It's difficult terrain to get into the boat, so I don't know what's your total speed?
40. That's why I didn't get into the boat. That's why I didn't get into the boat. I just stayed outside because I
So
want to
you can
direct
actually
people
use your
into
last
it.
10 feet to get in if you want, but you don't have to.
I might as well. So I'll use my last 10 feet to get into the boat, and I'll start untying it.
All right, the boat is free. What is your passive perception there?
My passive perception is 13.
Okay, thank you. So, Hemeth, I'm assuming you're done.
Yep.
Is the cat? He's a little scared of the cat. He's never seen one before. I just
give an
saw that now.
encouraging
That's
growl.
funny. Although he's a little hesitant, he eventually hops on board with the cat and holds on as tight as he can. He is not wearing any armor or carrying any weapons, obviously. And that's all he can do. I've already applied the damage all the way down. Fargus is just going to make a dart for the boat. I mean, that's about all he can do. Skip down to Agile as I move him into the boat.
All right. Can I even see Bloblipode? Bloblipode? Pod?
No,
Call her
I'm
Blob.
assuming. Let's see if you got a
Blob,
line of
yeah,
sight.
yeah.
Let's see if you got some line of sight here. Looks like you got pretty solid line of sight. So and you're pretty well positioned. I don't see why you can't.
Okay. Attacking with the longbow. Is that an advantage? So I did stealth with a 13.
Yes, it is with advantage.
Cool.
Now, just like I said last time, about this time, this level, we're going to start applying the full, not this game, starting next game, but we'll talk about that. You and I will.
Yeah, but that's why I tried to move positions, right? But yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Pew. Ha.
Ooh, another hit.
Pew.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like when you shoot it real good. And then gonna move.
Not just shoot her real good.
Yeah, of course. Boom. Boom. Just to there for now. And
I know we said we were
action.
going to discuss it.
Mhm.
You're going to hide, right?
Yeah.
So I know we discussed it, but I do want to use this as an example for discussing later. So just bear in mind how you hid and then came out a different location.
Right.
That's going to be relevant. And that's what you were doing previously. I'm going to cite it later when we chat.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. And that's my turn.
All right. And Mr. Plotpopleen hits her again with the Scepter of the Sea Mother, Blivdolplop. I want you to know I practice these words for you.
And here we are just calling
Eh.
them floppity paloopity.
I know I didn't expect you to say it. I wanted to get it right. And Bupito, though not happy, he is abandoning. He hops right on. I do have tokens for actual boats a little later, but I didn't load them up for this because I didn't want to bog down the server. We will deal with those in a minute.
I think Jimmy, before running away, he's a smart cat, you know. I feel like he would potentially cast. This is a racial trait, I believe. Blindness on.
It is.
Like the monitor number 17.
Do it.
Okay, so hold on, just making sure I'm targeting this all right. How does this spell work? Okay.
Should be a save.
Okay, take that.
Oh,
Nuts.
that's a really good racial trait, though.
Yeah, not bad. Okay.
It is a great racial trait.
Okay, so then he doesn't know. Maybe that worked. Maybe it didn't, right? But then he's gonna go there, and then cunning action. I guess just to there for now. Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah, it's his
Still
turn.
uses his movement I'll let you. All right. Still with another double move.
All right. Kosjurkis takes this opportunity to try and throw a firebolt at blip blop bloop.
You tried.
And there we go. Yay!
Nice.
And then he skadoodles the hell out of there. Oh shit! Oh, someone's moving. Stop. There we go.
A skadoodle. One skadoodle and two skedaddles later. I thought I hopped down to Rolen. Sorry about that.
It's all good. You hopped one past. That's as far as well, I guess I can do a double.
Yeah, double.
Let me move you to there, and then you can move to the other one, and I'll move Hemeth with you.
Okay.
All right. And back up to the top. Blibdoblop seems to come under the realization that she's being attacked from multiple sides, but she calls out to Limagagoon and strikes with her scepter, dealing damage.
I don't take any action in this turn. I just wait until everybody's get on the boat. So.
Is that ready action, as it were?
I guess I just take ready dodge action. That's the only thing I can really do.
All right. Hemeth climbs aboard. It is worth mentioning to the feline creatures in the area of large size, specifically, that you're probably not going to fit on that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I realized that.
You have had far, far too many kitty treats.
I can still carry two small creatures as Rolen, though, so I'm good.
That is correct. And since, before you take your turn, I skipped a little quick. He is going to, at disadvantage, try to shoot at the same creature that Smoke is shooting at with advantage there. And miss. I actually didn't roll with advantage, did it? Disadvantage, I meant to say. So yeah, you can go ahead and take your. You'll get advantage no matter what, or you get sneak attack no matter what, whether you're hidden or not, because she's surrounded by a hostile creature.
Yeah. Along those lines, or along the lines of the boat. Sorry, you said it was at least two people needed to row it.
Yes.
Okay. So, fair to say the circle I drew to the right here, like I can see that boat from here.
Yes.
Okay. So, gonna pop out to like here. Still stealthy, I hope. And take a shot at Blob. 12 stealth, so advantage, no advantage.
Yes.
Okay. Oh!
Damn!
Nicely
Nice.
done.
So this maybe is not what I wanted to do, but we'll see what happens there. Oh, she's still alive. Okay. So I get her pretty good.
She's gonna be feeling that crit in the morning, though.
Mm-hmm. And then if I can, as a free action, I'll say Rolen, over here, my friend. And then I'm going to finish my movement to get to there. And then I'm going to use my cunning action and feline agility to get to... Yeah. Unless there's a swimming problem, I should be able to get to that boat. Like run, jump into the water, and swim into that boat.
No, there is not a swimming problem right there.
Okay,
Right there, he says.
right there. Other places to swim those.
Stool and Kosjurkis should jump on my back. Just a side note.
Is it an action to jump on his back? Or
No.
Okay, then I'm doing it.
And I'll take you over to the other boat.
Let us say, yeah,
All
I'm
right.
not at this. I don't have a problem with that.
So Plop-Plopine brings up his staff, calling out to the Sea Mother. Clearly, obviously, he's the one dealing all of this damage in his head.
Yep,
And
yep.
even the damage you're dealing is compelled to be dealt by the Sea Mother as he hits again. And with this damage, he deals a mortal blow, hitting her, knocking her to the ground. The body hits the ground, and as she hits the ground, you notice that the water starts roiling.
Oh, good.
Crap,
Boiling.
you guys picked the wrong
and-
side.
These Kawatoans are obviously moving around. There are additional Kawatoans that aren't active combatants that were participating in the ritual, as I said. You notice, those of you right there, that are around that area, the Kawatoans in the water begin being yanked from their feet. Something under the water has yanked them off their feet. The dark water of the dark lake turns a darker color.
Oh, good.
Another sound rises above the burbling cries of the Kawatoan battle and the dark surface of the water further out, not right here on the shore. Let me put a little circle here where the water is roiling. So it'll obviously be a little bit on land, but it's going to cover these general areas right here. The water is boiling and roiling. Now, the water further out bubbles and begins to foam as a thick, oily tentacle bursts forth, followed by a second tentacle. A head bursts from the water as you see a second massive head burst from the water. Let me get you a image as I finish this description. The monstrous heads break the surface, resembling two hideous, angry baboons with wickedly curved tusks. Both heads are attached to a single torso. The monster's red eyes burn with bloodlust. The creatures rising from the dark lake, probably from this distance, you're guessing 30 feet, probably closer to 50, as water cascades down its back and its shoulders. Upon reaching its full height, the clearly monstrous demon leans back its head and roars.
Oh, good.
Wisdom saving throw for everyone.
Yay! Oh, hey, I'm proficient in those. Yay! Oh, I'm not gonna die, probably.
Probably.
I ain't gonna die waiting on salvation.
I'd like to point out that this is like my third wisdom saving throw I failed in a
no.
row.
Oh, that should be +2 more because I'm proficient. Oh well.
It matters. What
Okay,
is
I
his
should be
total?
20. I should be 20.
Okay, the DC is 13. Keep in mind, take a look. I want to know who fails. I am going to go down. I got to check Hemeth because you got to check Hemeth. Why would you not?
Yeah, check him before he wrecks himself.
Yeah, he wrecked himself. He got a 2.
Oh my god.
Fargus got a 14, so he is happy as can be. Let's get the rest of these. All right, Bupito. You can do it. That's a dex check. That one's unnecessary. Wow. -3 on the modifier here, boys. and girls.
Not fun.
He fails, and the crowd is stunned. Stunned, I.
What about stool?
19 or 18 actually. So
You cannot.
is that all?
You cannot fear the fungus.
You cannot fear the fungus. So on this one, let's start at the very top. So Indomitable, please give me a percentile.
Oh, where's...
Actually, don't even worry about that. I want you to roll on my table. So you go ahead, and I'm going to send you a table in 1 second.
All right.
That was a really loud gulp I just heard.
Somebody's thirsty. People need to...
Drink some water.
All right. I'm sending you a table. Click the button. It will roll. Outstanding. Can you read that?
Yes.
Person?
Says the character.
No.
Says the character becomes attached to a lucky charm, such as a person or object, has disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws while more than 30 feet from it.
All right.
Who's your lucky charm?
My quarterstaff.
You know. Well, we'll call it Stool.
Oh no.
Stool's pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's lucky.
Stool succeeded on the.
Yeah.
On the thingy.
Queen Ophelia, I'm sending you a table. You get to roll on it. Please click the dice at the very top left.
She really wants.
You're taking the first one, unfortunately. Whenever the character takes damage, he or she must succeed a DC 15 Wisdom save or be thrown as a... Actually, I stand corrected. You know.
That.
So I think I double clicked it.
You did. I just used the first one. So you are... There we go. And I'll apply the other three. Let's see. So Queen Ophelia and Indomitable Spirit, Hemeth, Bupido. So you four have
Jim Jar too. Jim Jar
and
too.
Jim Jar. So on top of that, all three of you are knocked unconscious.
Oh fuck.
Shit.
All five of you are knocked unconscious. So Spirit, Queen Ophelia, Hemeth, who's already in the boat, Bupido, who's also already in the boat, and Jim Jar, who is not in the boat, all see this creature roar as he bursts from the lake and passes out.
All right, change of plans. Kosjurkis is
Yeah.
getting in the boat with
Take
Jim Jar.
Yeah, okay. I'll get Ophelia,
And take stool.
and I'll take Stool on my back, and I'll drag Ophelia, I guess, if I can't take both.
Is that a allowable plot, Tony?
You are. I'm going to let you guys... I unlock the tokens. You can move as far as you want. It is worth mentioning that the demon creature turns towards the shore, towards the town, and moves towards you.
Like
Or the town, not you specifically. Kosjurkis.
Okay, yeah.
No, specifically Kosjurkis. Fuck Kosjurkis in particularly. And he looks a little angry. He looks very upset. And as he... Let me pull up this enjoyable creature. As he lashes out in anger, he calls out,
Demogorgon claims your soul.
oh boy. Let's get the.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's get
I'm
out of
definitely
here.
changing back.
This is some
Getting on the
stranger
boat.
things I don't want to deal with right now. Time to paddle away.
Is the boat the right option?
Well,
It's kind of our only option. Either
As
that,
long
or
as he's focusing on the town.
either that, or go back the way we came and probably run into the drow.
So one of the things you guys do notice is the Kawatoans some have stopped fighting each other, some have fallen unconscious, and there are other Kawatoans that were previously fighting them. Some are fleeing, some are continuing to stab. Some of the Kawatoans who were fighting each other start stabbing themselves. Others are running around screaming. They are attacking each other. They are setting upon, chewing on their own flesh. Some are running willingly into the roiling water where you see large wings of possibly manta rays. Think of what it would look like if you had a 5 or 10 foot long piranha, a whole school of them. They are just freaking chewed to pieces in a matter of seconds. The second they touch that water.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna move that circle there. Demogorgon's coming from this direction. He's coming from deeper into the Dark Lake, towards the town. And although this isn't, he slaps the water on his action and attacks a small stalagmite, stalactite combination where they've reached out of the water and formed a column, and it just shatters, sending boulders flying, knocking down a chunk of the wall.
There we go.
How many people are unconscious in the boat with Kosjurkis? Is it all of them?
Well, I need to look. Let's see who's in this boat.
I think it's all
I
of
think
them.
Pupito.
Yeah.
I think
Nope,
Pupito's
Fargus
up.
is good.
Okay.
Fargus is good, but
Can we
Pupito is
start-
not.
Oh,
You
okay,
think
never
we
mind.
Paddle the heck out of here.
Yes, I'm going to apply some unconscious. So he's unconscious. Hemeth is unconscious. Kosjurkis is awake. So yeah, you got a boat full of just messed up people. And where is Ophelia?
Over by me.
There she is. Who's carrying Ophelia?
Me, and I'll turn back into Rolen, so I can get on the boat.
All right, I will make that adjustment here. You can just move about your business as I delete the cat, and you guys can add. Now, bear in mind, it takes 2 people to operate these keel boats,
Good.
and they.
Yep. Because Stool cannot operate it, and this is like the best possible scenario out of a really bad situation.
Good rolls.
Like Kosjurkis could have been on this boat by himself.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Fargus.
Fargus.
Okay. I would like to know where you guys are going. Just give me 2 lines. I don't care. Well, let's just say Kosjurkis and Rolen, I guess.
Yep.
For which direction you guys are. Agile Smoke, if you want to be the director there on that second boat. But I need to know which direction. Draw me a line.
That way.
All right.
Cutting, giving the writhing piranha water as much of a berth as possible while also trying to not get taken out by the Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So as you do, the Demogorgon roaring smashes a tentacle that causes a mini tsunami.
Oh, good.
For those of you who are unconscious, you need not do this. If you are conscious, you get an acrobatics or athletics check, your choice.
Let's see what my skills say.
I have 0 for both.
Oh.
Alright, looks like I'm doing an acrobatics check. Oh,
Oh, no. Oh,
Then
no.
alright.
As the wave sweeps over the boat. Let's see. Are you two the 2 operating it, right? Agile and Rolen?
There's
Yeah.
no one else to operate it.
Just making sure. And as the wave sweeps over the boat, it strikes the people who are steering, and Kosjurkis goes over.
Oh, good.
Fargus, save him.
This entire boat is going to fucking die. I love it. We're gonna lose 6 characters today.
What is it? What is it? You can't die. There's like 4 of the main characters in here.
We have plot armor, right?
No, this is a George R.R. Martin campaign.
I used up all my divine intervention last campaign when I wasn't even here.
The wave throws over Kosjurkis as Fargus is forced to adapt to the situation. Let me delete Plopine. He has his own issues to deal with now, and the Kawatoan monitor. But
I wasn't anticipating. I thought the Demogorgon was coming from like either the middle or like the left hand side. I was not anticipating from the right hand side.
what makes the right worse?
He's closer to us.
Yeah, that's where he was coming from. You guys chose those boats. Fucking Spirit. You know he has bad luck.
The unluckiest person.
I mean, I can't really say anything in my defense. I mean, that is true.
How many lives do you have left?
Jeez, at this
Like,
point, hell,
you've lost at least 4.
yeah.
So, Kosjurkis, as you hit the water, you notice there's a couple of those little
Oh shit.
creatures, and it swings out a barbed tail at you, waiting, ready to action.
Oh, damn it, hit my AC
the-
exactly.
I can't pronounce that.
Oh.
But there you go. Ixachatnal, as it attacks and gets his ready to action against Kosjurkis, manages to come up with 10 damage
Oh fuck.
You're gonna die.
before Fargus is able to pull him back aboard.
Oh.
It's a rough spot. All right, give me
Please.
who has proficiency in watercraft, and it's probably something you don't remember. It's way back when you picked your background. It would be under abilities tab on your character sheet, proficiencies.
Oh god damn it! I have vehicles land. Are you serious? Oh
Not
my
me.
God.
I'm useless anyway since I'm unconscious, but
Right, if you're unconscious, you need not look, but if you want to know if you could have helped.
Nope.
That makes me so sad that I have vehicles land. Oh. My heart, my soul.
It burns bad. Hemeth does actually have that. Unfortunately, he does not have the ability. But I'm going to need an athletics check from everybody, including Kosjurkis, bleeding from a barbed tail strike across the back of the leg and body.
Can I get aided on this?
Yeah.
roll?
Okay, I'm gonna give myself guidance.
You're going to...
Can I give myself guidance? Just a little tap on the shoulder. Let's do this.
You can do it, buddy. Reach around, pat yourself on the back.
No, you're. So here's my question.
Yes.
Does Fargus grant me advantage on this roll?
Yes, you can grant each other advantage. If 2
Ah.
people are going, I will give it to you. Fargus has a +0 in athletics.
He
If you,
should be going because I have a -2.
so he'll take advantage.
Roll
that-
and take
We will go
advantage.
ahead and-
I
Now, this
also
is-
have a strength of 0, but
-1, take advantage.
okay.
What the hell?
I rolled again.
We're
Plus
all
that 4.
Yeah,
You
okay.
motherfuckers, you motherfuckers should have stole some protein powder.
Our party is almost entirely dex-based marshals and casters.
yeah,
well,
this is like one of the reasons why I'm super upset that my character is unconscious, because I have a +5 to acrobatics.
It's athletics, though,
Athletics.
not acrobatics.
I still have a +4 to that.
So Fargus rolls a 17 and Rolen rolls a 14.
Plus
and you
4.
are able +4 and 18. You manage to get out of the range, the damaging range of the second tentacle smashing the water as Demogorgon round 4 reaches the shore and just begins leveling the buildings. I mean, he's a siege monster, so he gets double, triple damage against structures, and like his tentacles are long enough that he can just fucking wreck entire rows of buildings, and he is just annihilating it, and it's just being pierced by the occasional as you guys paddle for your lives out into the Dark Lake with half of your group unconscious and terrified. And we're going to take a break here.
Tony, before we go, I just have a quick question. So I know you
Go.
have some experience with this campaign. Is that
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
I do.
How
I've ran it before.
many TPKs have you heard about based on this first encounter with this creature?
None, honestly. Most
Wow.
parties, and not that they haven't happened, none that I've heard of. Most parties have the common sense, or the DMs have the experience to convey to them that Demogorgon's probably not one you should. What's the term?
What I meant was in that everyone fails their wisdom saving throw against the Demogorgon's roar.
It's usually about half. It usually is, and it's not the Demogorgon's roar; it's the sight of Demogorgon.
Okay.
He is so alien and so just vile and corrupt. The mere sight of him causes a bout of demonic madness.
Kosjurkis is fine though because he's seen Stranger Things before.
Right. You know, this campaign was out 2 years before Stranger Things. So I don't know who used who, but I'm going to give you some information on Demogorgon after the break. But I will say that most groups struggle and go for land, and then like they try to run away towards the ground, like through the village, and then end up getting in a fight with some Kawatoans who've gone mad, who turn on each other, and it's a big shit show. But yeah, it is usually a shocking experience for most groups. But the first time I ran it, they lost 2 NPCs getting out.
We managed to gain 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
we broke even on this encounter, boys.
Yeah.
They actually gained Hemeth and lost 2, so I guess they had a net loss of 1, but they did lose 2.
I was just thinking, like, if we were gonna try and flee over the ground, like, we would lose.
Oh yeah,
at least 4 people because Fargus and Kosjurkis can't pull anybody.
Yeah,
I
guess so. Yeah.
A couple people.
Not to mention, again, I mean, if we'd managed to try to escape through the on land outside of town, we'd have to deal with Elvira and her shit kicker squad. So, no.
I mean, if she's kicking anything, it's usually you.
Either way, I mean, we're gonna be fucked. So.
So I have 2 questions, or I have 1 question. Then we're taking a break. Then we can come back. Did anybody even remotely recall to remind that priest to heal spirit?
Oh.
I'll see you after break.
Fuck.
Hello, whoever who is back,
Hey,
Hello.
if any.
hey, everybody. Almost.
Almost. The Demogorgon.
Scary stuff.
Super spooky.
Super spooky. You know, somebody's got to pop out of the water. Apparently, it was Demogorgon.
The Demogorgon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I took the time to actually go around the room and dust a bit. Probably not the best use of my time, but I mean, considering I'm also asthmatic, and the fact that I'm trying to recover from a sinus problem, probably that might not have been a bad idea to overall, I think.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I don't have allergies, but I've heard about them. I've heard rumors that they're not fun.
Yeah.
Do we have Tanner back? Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe.
Take that as a no.
Take that as a no. All right. So, you guys learned something new tonight about the world. And I'm going to explain to you its relevance outside of Stranger Things. Although I did greatly enjoy that. The last camp time. What's that?
The reference or the show?
Both, actually. I enjoyed both. I was actually running this campaign the last time, or when Stranger Things came on, so it was, they were able to see that reference.
Topical.
I am back.
All right. Tanner hath returned.
Took you long enough.
The woman
So-
needed help.
You know, it's easier. Happy wife, happy life. You may not be a wife, but the same concept applies.
You mean you enjoy helping your significant other makes your heart happy?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see it like
I
that.
subscribe to a different philosophy known as slightly irritated wife, entertaining life, but to each their own.
Keep playing games, lover.
So, between Ophelia and Kosjurkis, let's do some knowledge religion or knowledge arcana checks from the skills list. Anybody who has them, you're welcome to, but I believe those two would probably be the highest.
Got him out. Tony really did turn off the good player rules button, didn't he?
Don't blame Tony. It's on you guys. Oh, Rolen coming
There,
out
religion.
with a 19. So, this is I didn't go over the outer planes on our page. We wanted to kind of cover this in game before we covered it in on there. So the outer planes, the creatures of the outer planes, all of you know, or share knowledge with each other, are basically where the inner planes, if you've read all the things I typed, were made up of solid things, fire elementals, earth elementals. They're made up of earth, the physical things. On the outer planes, they're made up of ideas. So, for example, a god of good paladins on the outer planes are made up literally of the stuff of ideas. They are literally made up of goodness. They are a physical embodiment of goodness. Demons are the physical embodiment of chaos and evil. And they function by absorbing souls. I'm not going to go super deep. I will simply say that there are different ranks of demons. Rank 1 demon, like a Dretch, absorbs soul energy and can evolve into a different kind of demon. As they get stronger and stronger, at the top of this list are a group of creatures called demon lords, of which they are in varying strengths, but none of them are weak. A demon lord is a demon that has reached demigod or even lesser god power. Now, they're not lesser gods. That is a distinction I'm not going to go into right now. The essence of it is they can't grant magical powers, divine magical powers to others. So we'll stop there. But they are as powerful as a lesser god or a moderate god, depending on which demon lord we're talking about. They are so powerful that, for example, when you go to the abyss, if you do, and there are numerous layers. They're basically like floating discs stacked on top of each other. If you go to a layer that's controlled by, I don't know, Demogorgon, you will find that the ground, the air, the water resembles or reflects the essence of the demon lord, because the demon lord is so powerful. They reshape reality itself. They taint it. It is toxic to them to the point where it will contaminate. There you go. That's another picture of Demogorgon. That's another. But that's the gist of it. It will reshape reality. If you happen to have two demons at war, which happens with all of demons, the reality itself becomes at war with itself. And that's why the abyss is constantly in flux, because reality reshapes itself, and where two demons are in close proximity, reality unravels because it's at war with itself. The last time a demon lord was free on the plane of mortal existence, the prime material plane, to your knowledge, a demon lord like Demogorgon was a lesser demon. He was a Knoll demon. I can't remember his name. Yanogu, I think. His footsteps spawned the Gnolls, who, as I'm pretty sure if you've played other D&D games, Gnolls are pretty prevalent. So his blood and footsteps spawned the Gnolls and it resulted in tens of thousands of deaths, damage to the nature that's probably still being healed. A demon lord's presence on the prime material plane, it has magical consequences, physical consequences that tend to span thousands and thousands of years. I mean, you're probably never going to get rid of the Gnolls, and they're a consequence of Yanogu stepping onto the prime material plane. So that's the size of a demon. That's the scope of a demon lord. The only thing I will add is that with that 19 that I wasn't going to add without a 17, Demogorgon is known as the prince and most powerful of all of the demon lords, up to and including Lady Loth herself, the only demon lord who can grant spells. Demogorgon is her superior in physical power, and you just watched him burst from the Dark Lake on the prime material plane.
And I escaped with my sanity.
For now.
For now.
So that's a thing, and demon lords can't just pop onto the prime material plane. They can't get here very easily. So that's a thing
Just
that you know now.
Pop in on us.
Well,
spread the
here he
infectious
is.
joy of Demogorgon's miss.
Somebody has to. Now, with that, I will close this map, and we can decide what you guys want to do. Your compatriots are unconscious for about 10 minutes.
I would say for those entire 10 minutes, we don't stop paddling. And then when they wake up, we continue to not stop paddling.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know about y'all.
You guys missed a lot, but we're going.
Well, it's at this point, after you continue paddling and everyone wakes up, that you guys probably have some discussions to have about where you want to go. And this is probably a discussion. I know you've had a little bit of it, but I want to make sure you guys know what you want before we go that direction. So this is a conversation for players to decide.
Well, I think an element of that is going to have to work around where our guide knows like path to and whatnot, right? Because we kind of rushed
Yes.
into that part of it, but wasn't the original plan that we were going to? I'm forgetting all the names. We were going to go to
Gracklestug. And there's Gracklestug, the home of the Deep Dwarves,
Uh-huh.
Neverlight Grove, the home of the Myconids, Menzo Baranzan, the home of the Drow,
Nope.
Stone, the home of the Deep Gnomes are the ones.
So-
and of course, Velkenvelv is an option.
No.
The home of the Deep Dwarves is the one that's nearby to, well, relatively nearby to Neverlight Grove, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I think because we have a guide, we should go there.
Yeah, see if we can do
I am going-
Neverlight Grove and then Gracklestug, or the other way around.
Well, if he knows, it depends. I think where we're going depends on how well Hemet knows where we are and where we're going.
Can we all safely agree we want to spend the least amount of time possible on the Dark Plague?
Yes.
I can agree with that, yes.
So where does Hemet know where to go to? Like, what are the places planned?
He knows about a number of. First, he thanks Rolen for rescuing him.
Welcome.
Although he is dour and quiet, and not approving of this non-dwarven lifestyle, he is appreciative.
Wait a second.
And feels
how can he be unappreciative of Kosjurkis? He's a pure white kobold. He's got
he
no.
is appreciative. He's just not approving.
I'm
So
more
he
gray than you.
he does know how to navigate to Gracklestug. They trade with these. It will work. The shortest route will take 7 days of rowing, and that will require you to pass through a lock and fall of Gracklestug, which he can get you past. Just one though, and it's about a day, maybe 2 rowing from here.
Would we be able to get better boats at this lock?
Probably not. And these boats aren't awful. Those rafts were just there for a cosmetic design, so it wasn't clogging up the image. And they said that they're keel boats. They hold 6. They're actually pretty good boats, to be honest. To give you a general description of what they are, as far as they're in the player's handbook, but you don't have to pull it up. To give you a general description of a keel boat, so you have an idea, they have what's called a damage threshold, meaning it's immune to all damage unless it takes a damage equal to its threshold, which is 10 in one attack. So if you hit it for 5 damage, you don't damage the boat. It's basically an old school damage reduction. You have to do 11 damage to do any damage to the boat, and that's just 1. Holds 6 people, carries cargo, armor class of 15, hit points of 100. Speed of 1 mile per hour if rowed by 2 people. So it's not. The Kawatoans are known to make hardy vessels. They're not pretty, but with 2 keel boats, you should be perfectly capable. And I'm gonna get tokens for you guys. I just didn't feel like it yet. I have them in the module system. Now, he can guide you. If you want to go over land, like to go to the closest spit of land and then travel from there, you're going to probably be looking at about 20 days of travel, maybe more.
Risk the water?
I'd say risk the water, if only because of the fact that it would be much quicker. But that's just my vote.
I vote for the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to risk tempting fate here, but I doubt there's much worse than Demogorgon in the water.
I also feel like if the Demogorgon was chasing after us, it wouldn't really matter if we were on the water or on the land.
Yeah.
At last you saw the Demogorgon, he was just going to town on the
Haha, I get it.
Kawato in town. Yeah.
But
Unintended.
what we just learned too, though, was that he's probably spawning more demons, right? So if he's sourced out of the dark lake, right, we could come upon more of these piranhas or whatever the fuck they were. But I mean, if we
Still
think
chatting,
Grackle
by the
Stug's
way.
the best way to go, it still chaps. No, it did, yeah. Then I guess it's the only way to go. But Grackle Stug, and then we stay away from the dark lake. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I have a
feel like-
question.
Look at that.
I feel
Shoot.
like we're gonna have to deal with the Demogorgon at some point,
No.
and I kind of hate that a little bit.
So would Lesser Restoration get rid of that long-term madness?
No, it won't.
Yeah.
But
shot.
on the upside, here's the upside. I pulled up the wrong table, and I need to go over it. So I need to go over, let's see, Indomitable. I don't believe you are going to have that long-term madness.
Okay.
That was your first round of madness.
All right.
You had not failed a previous check, so you have and it was just a misread. I actually was looking at Kosjurkis' sheet. Ophelia, on the other hand, I'm going to have you roll on a different table. I pulled up the standard madness. Demogorgon has his very own.
Oh no.
Now hold on.
How exciting.
Does Kosjurkis have madness that I didn't know about?
I just was looking down. I looked at the wrong one. I skipped over Kosjurkis and Fargus and Indomitable. Some people do have madness, though. Let's see.
Oh,
One,
boy. I bet it's me.
2, 3. But I'll add that. So Hemeth is willing to guide you. We'll deal with the madness in a little bit. He's willing to guide you to Gracklestug, and after that, he will consider his debt to you repaid, his life debt. He will get you past the lock, and he will gain you access to the docks.
If we can, Agile's going to try and be on the same boat as Hemeth, and like that way
you guys can get the boats together.
Yeah, as like my ranger ability, I can help him whatever way, right? But an element of that, like he also was affected by the madness, correct?
What do you mean?
Like he
Yes,
also
yes,
got...
he was.
So I'm gonna be just
Yes.
kind of keeping an eye on him, and like any sign that like how he's guiding us is maybe not entirely reasonable, and maybe I can gauge that based on my knowledge of the Underdark. If at any point it seems wrong or it seems just like crazy,
Kill him.
well, maybe not kill him, but just like stop the boats and reconsider what the fuck we're doing.
Okay, I will bear that in mind. So, on the upside, although quicker than normal, you guys reach level 4.
Hey!
I was wondering about that.
Upon your escape from Demogorgon, you reach level 4. Although the time it takes to go from 3 to 4 is short, the time to go from 4 to 5 is probably going to be longer. Bear that in mind.
When we kill the Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Get him!
Well, he does about 35 damage a hit. And that's just one hit, not counting abilities. So
It's fine. It's fine.
it's fine. It's all fine. So I set aside the last 30 minutes of this game for leveling up.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
I'll start there, left to right as normal. And if you feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to level yourself up, but I will, as always, go through it with each of you. Ophelia, you should have it pop up there for you. If you'll drag it and drop it on your screen or your character sheet, it'll level you up. Should. Let's see here. It looks like everybody gets an ability score improvement is about all. Ophelia, your jump up is actually super simple. You get 4 flexible casting points, and I do those changes for you here. So you have 4 now. So what is that? 4 separate fancy ass twin spells. That's what we need.
Pretty exciting.
You will get some additional spells, some cantrips. We'll pull out the cards later. So you'll get 1 additional cantrip, 1 additional spell, and you can trade 1 out. But the important decision for tonight, because we're going to level up and call it a night, because the Demogorgon is where I wanted to end. I wanted to end this game on the Demogorgon. And you can choose between a feat and an ability score improvement of 2. So on your strength and so forth, looking at your sheet, charisma going up from 17 to 18 is going to increase your attacks. Yeah, your attack will go up. Your saves will be harder. If you bump, put 1 point in charisma from 17 to 18 and 1 point in constitution from 15 to 16, your hit points will also go up. Or you can pick up a feat like lucky, or there's a couple feats. So I recommend taking a look. The feats are quite numerous. I recommend this to everybody unless you guys have thought it through. The feats are, as I said, quite numerous. So take your time in choosing whether you want to take an ability score improvement or a feat.
You can also improve 2 abilities by 1, right?
Yes.
Correct. You can put 2 points, whether it's 1 and 1 or 2 and 1. Let me see if I can find the feats here. I am going to send a list of feats. There's a whole lot of them. I don't expect you guys to go through them all right now. If you want to start looking now, that's why I set aside 30 minutes. Oops, wrong. Sent that. So I sent you the thing. You can pull it up if you want, and you can click on each one of those, and it should give you a description. Lucky is a great one, but I will look over those tonight if you would like, and I will give you each an individual recommendation. Kosjurkis, you already leveled up. I'm guessing it was just a ability score improvement.
I improved my dexterity and my intelligence. I now have 16 intelligence and 18 dexterity. Woo!
That'll do it. So you get an additional spell slot for 2nd level. And you also get, I think, an additional cantrip.
Yep, I chose Shocking Grasp.
Yeah, because that's what you need to be right on up there.
Just in case.
Rolen, where'd you go? Another level of Druid?
Yep. And I get, I can do monsters with swim speed now.
Oh, yay.
That's
what you
lucky
want.
right there.
That's where you want to be right now, is in the water.
Exactly.
Don't forget you get another cantrip.
Yep.
You do get another cantrip, and you get an additional spell slot for level 2 spells. And we will need to go over your swimming creatures.
Yeah, I'll probably pick some out.
I believe is it equal to your level, or it's half your level, isn't it? Or
it's only it's only CR rating of 1 right now.
Okay.
I think it's a 3rd. Yeah, it's 1/3 of my level rounded up to 1. Or
all right.
Down or something. I don't know.
You want me to come back to you? Agile, you look like you're struggling.
Debating.
You call potato. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
All right, Indomitable. It looks like you took monk.
Yep.
Ability score improved. Slow fall, you fancy bastard.
So I'm kind of torn between one of four options. I'm considering either an ability score increase of either 2 to my strength, dexterity, or constitution, or taking the tough feat. And that's only because of the fact that I have the mummy rot.
Okay. I will say this real quick. Go to your action tab real quick.
Okay. Action tab.
You have, I'm changing it. You notice how I just changed
Yep.
your points for monk abilities?
Yep.
You have 4 now.
Yep.
So that will always equal your level. And I think that is all for you, except take your time, look over the feats. I will take time. I work my mid shift tonight. Does anybody mind if I send them messages, or does anybody don't send me a message? Because I try not to send anybody messages late, but my midnight shift is when I do all my reading.
Go for it.
Okay, because I mute my phone. You guys can message me at 2:30 in the morning. I don't give a shit because I won't hear it. I'll get back to you in the next day.
Personally, I am fairly nocturnal.
Fair enough. But if somebody is who has to keep their phone on for work, so don't fucking message me. So I wake up thinking you're work. So you guys wake up thinking I'm work, and it's some dumbass message about Dungeons and Dragons. I want to be respectful. So if that's you, just send me a message. Otherwise, I people who play D&D don't mind and will mute their phones, but I do want to be respectful of your guys' time and your needs. So let's see. Agile, do you need any advice? You just want to take time to think it over. You don't have to we're done for the night, so you don't need to make a decision.
Oh, how hard is it going to be to assassinate people?
Be specific.
I feel like it's a case by case.
Yeah.
So I can answer. Well, are you talking at the ability assassin, right? Is what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, roguish archetype. You choose that at this point, right?
It's either a point into that and get assassin now, or a second point into ranger, which
so
will help in other ways.
I think we chatted about it, but I want to make sure I re-mention it because I don't want any confusion. So here's how it works.
Yep.
Assassinate takes effect. Well, first, you get advantage on any creature that hasn't taken an action in combat yet. So it doesn't matter if they're surprised, not surprised. If you have a higher initiative and you on round 1 you attack anybody who's below you, you get advantage. I'm probably not going to remember that for you. You need to remember it.
Yeah.
So that's an easy one. So in addition, any hit you score against a creature who is surprised is an instant crit. Surprised is a condition. For example, in that Kawatoan battle, the Deep Father Kawatoan knew the other Kawatoans were there, but they were surprised by the attack. So they were surprised that first round. So the only issue is, so say you have an initiative score of Kawatoan 1, Agile Smoke, Kawatoan 2,
Right.
and they're both surprised. When Kawatoan 1 goes, he doesn't get to take his action, but at the end of his turn, he is no longer surprised. So Agile Smoke is second in initiative. If you attack that first guy who's already had his turn, you can't assassinate him.
Right.
But if you attack the third one who hasn't had his turn yet, he's still surprised. Therefore, you get an instant critical hit, and you have advantage, which is basically instant crit sneak attack damage is what it is.
Right.
The other effect is if you are in your group here with Ophelia with her gleaming silver crown and the Bupito's loud Tasmanian devil attitude, and you're walking with them and they are heard, but you are not seen, the creatures you're attacking hypothetically would be not surprised, but you would get advantage.
Right.
Because anything that alerts them that danger is around ruins your assassinate. So, but if you're 60 feet ahead and they don't hear them and they're not aware of them, you can surprise them. So it's all on how you guys do it. If you travel with the group, you're never going to be able to assassinate people.
Yeah. Which I think I can deal with in the future, but right now being on boats, yeah. So I'm gonna take a second point into Ranger, I think.
Are you set on Assassin? Because there's the other rogue archetypes are also like fantastic too.
Yeah, it's
I
just
got
like
a mastermind on my Monday game.
Thief is also pretty cool for like breaking into places.
I'll look at it again, but the thing with Thief is like I have a lot of the stuff already. Like second story work means nothing to me, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good point. Like Assassin, I feel like I'd get like maybe 7 points into it total, like 7 levels, and that'd be it. And then I put the rest in the Gloomstalker, I think.
Hey Ben, do you still have Shadow Step or Pass Without Trace? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just checking because I'm considering taking it.
Let's say, yeah, Pass Without Trace is one of my Shadow Monk abilities.
Okay, I'll take something else then.
With Find Familiar, would you let me have a pseudo dragon familiar as a variant rule?
I don't know. I'm not opposed. I'm simply not informed enough to answer right now. So I know Find Familiar is a spell. You take it. I think it has a cost, doesn't it? It used to, anyways.
10 gold worth of charcoal, incense, etc.
So my only issue is, my only concern with Find Familiar is its abuse, obviously.
Yes.
It's supposed to serve a purpose, and I don't have a problem with the pseudo dragon per se. I just don't want to. You're the first person who is asking with Find Familiar. I haven't had a lot of wizards, and most of them didn't want to use a spell on it. So let's see.
Well,
Poison
it's also
for
a
1
ritual,
hour.
so you just ritual cast it.
Right.
And then it's
now
off forever. But
what I want to check real quick is consequences of losing, because it used to be losing a familiar had pretty catastrophic consequences. I don't believe there are any left.
It just disappears and then reappears if you recast the spell. As far as I can tell, there is no consequence to it dying.
Okay,
if you would prefer that I don't take Find Familiar for balance reasons, I am totally fine with that too.
I'm not necessarily opposed. Let me check. Let's see here. Does he have my question is going to be whether he has flyby attack, which he doesn't. That was the balance I'm concerned about.
I know warlocks have them as an extended option by default, and then wizards can, like, there's wording in some sidebar that says like wizards can ask about imps and things like of that nature that warlocks just get as options. Pact of the Chain, I believe.
What is your alignment?
Lawful evil.
That, let me check. I might have misread that pseudo dragon, but they're generally just good creatures. That's gonna. I don't have an issue with the pseudo dragon per se, but familiars are in line morally and ethically, typically. That's why you find an imp with an evil wizard, not a good wizard. But I believe by that "but" you were about to make an argument.
So the wording is that they're actually like a celestial fae or fiend of essentially just taking the chosen form as opposed to actually being that thing.
Right, the target creature. Right, and I don't have a problem with that. But typically they do align with alignment. So if you wanted a fiend pseudo dragon who is a fiend taking that shape, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. No.
Okay. It's mostly for flavor, because
I-
I feel like if he could summon any sort of creature to be with him, it would be a tiny dragon.
I don't object to the pseudo dragon both as flavor and as practical. Flyby attack I would have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the keen senses or the magic resistance or any of that. The bite, that doesn't matter to me. Flyby attack is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I know because I've been researching it and I'm about to do what's probably got a 50-60% chance of a TPK on come Monday
Oh boy.
because they're stupid.
Well, and also they're playing Curse of Strahd, TPKs.
Well, that's not what's leading to the TPK. The voluntary choice to attack an angel is probably what's going to TPK them.
Oh dear.
Their current discussions on are whether it's moral and ethical. No one thought that
Whether it's
evil
possible.
should be in the conversation.
They spent so long arguing about whether or not they should that they never stopped and whether or not
So
they could.
I'll let you know how that goes. It may still come up. Somebody may say, "Hey, attacking Demogorgon at level 3, shitty idea. Let's not do it." Might be ethical, might not. Probably a shitty idea. So, Ranger makes sense for assassinate, but do bear in mind, Alex, it's gonna be level 3 to 4 is quick. 4 to 5 is longer in this campaign.
Yep.
It's gonna be a while. So you may have a lot of opportunity to use that assassinate that after you get off the boat.
For now, I'm gonna go Ranger. Yeah.
Oh, I just found a. I just
Live your best life.
was reading through Find Familiar, and I found a thing that completely would have negated flyby attack if it was even a problem. A familiar.
Oh, I
can't
can do
attack.
that.
They just can't attack.
Oh,
There you go.
see, as I said, that's my issue is I don't have the experience with this spell in this campaign. See, 3.5, they could attack, they could deliver touch spells, and if they died, the wizard went unconscious for 8 hours.
Yeah, they became a little bit less useful in 5th edition, but are not as bad. Like if that happens. The big thing is that you can communicate with them telepathically when they're within 100 feet of you, and you can also choose to just see and hear through them. And then you just become blind and deaf in your normal body, so you can essentially just fly around as a little tiny dragon and scout ahead, which is what most wizards use.
There we have it. Right, and not uncommon. So if you're done with your character, feel free to run away. My only thing I would encourage you to do is be careful. Take your time in choosing whether or not to pick a feat or not. You don't need to make that decision tonight. You don't get another feat for level 8, which is going to be months till level 8. It's going to be months before you reach that. So take your time. If anybody has any questions, I will be available. I will be asleep from about 7:30 till 11:30, but then I'll be up all night.
Just to confirm, I don't get ability score increase at this point, right? Because I'm multi-classing?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, okay.
Unless everything I read says no, but
No, that sounds right. Yeah.
so
And for my swimming stuff, I'm gonna take a giant octopus and a giant toad, please.
A giant octopus and a manta ray.
There's no manta ray, otherwise I would.
Unfortunately, the Ixtalchatnal is a magical beast. Very thankful to be out of Sloobludop because those are hard words to pronounce. Ploplopine. Me and my how do you pronounce this web app made it through. So, hope you guys had fun discovering that a demon lord for the first time in an eon is walking free on the mortal plane.
Hooray!
And it's the strongest one, Demogorgon.
It's fine.
The prince of demons.
Thanks, I hate it.
This is fine.
I highly recommend you guys check out that video I posted. It's really funny. Good.
Will do.
If it makes you feel any better, the high priest of the Kawatoans was fully capable of healing spirit.
Oh no!
Oh, that dick.
You guys have a good week. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
See ya.
Don't worry, Ben. In another level, you'll get healed by me.
All right. Sounds good.
Night, everybody.
Unless I don't take remove curse.
All right.
Got it.
Later, guys.
Later.